Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. This is the next day now and we're starting to put the copper and the components in the boiler room. As well as that, I've got to check all the designs of the bathroom, make sure everything's all good with that, and I can start making our plan to first fix it all. Okay, so we're making a start getting the pipework in now, and we've had another change of plans. We're going to be running the flow and return through the first floor joist down to the new boiler room location. So hopefully that's going to prevent us gunning up the floor. So the other reason we're doing that is the cold water main, we can also run it through the first floor joist. So what we're going to be doing is bringing it up in this corner here, run it along. We've just taken the floor up, so it is pretty accessible, it's not too much in the way, and then we can drop it down into the rooms. So the problem that leaves us with is we're going to need to discharge the pressure relief valve through a high temperature pump. So there seems to only be one available on the market at the moment, and we'll get that ordered, and then that will be mounted low level, and that then will pump the water through the first floor joist, and then we can terminate it externally low level with a little cage on it. So yeah, it should all be fine. So this is where the cold water main actually goes into the utility room. So it looks like it has been updated recently, and it's quite unusual to see it poking out the ground like this, but it's good news in a way because we know that it's been recently updated, so we shouldn't have any problems with flow rate, hopefully, and we'll pick it up on the other side of the wall underneath the utility room, where we'll be now running it up into the first floor joist space. So just to explain what's going on in here, we've got the flow and return that's going to be coming from the oil boiler coming down. We've got two isolation valves which will then allow servicing to be easy in the manifold cupboard, so we can separate the boiler from this manifold section. We've got the auto bypass, and the particular boiler we're going to be fitting, the pump is actually on the return, so that's why the auto bypass looks a little bit out of place, but it is in the correct position. The mag filter on the return, so these always have to go onto the return pipework, pick up any sludge and debris that's in the system to prevent any damage to the boiler. And then, yeah, so the majority of the rest of it is just flow and return pipework. We've just taken delivery of all the radiators, so I've just loaded all them in, and I'm just going to start hanging them on the wall now. So we're still having a few issues with the final bathroom design, so I can't really start till that's sorted. So I'm going to start chucking the rads on. I've gone for the ones from Screwfix this time, so generally are pretty good quality, I would say. You know, comparable with some of the more expensive brands. One of the things that impresses me with the radiators from Screwfix is they come really well packaged, so not only do you get it all wrapped up with bubble wrap, they also come in these cardboard boxes, so many times I've had radiators where they've got dings in or the grills are bent, and normally these are pretty good, so yeah, they're well worth considering. Rather than using traditional Loctite or PTFE, I'm going to be using this liquid PTFE to do all the radiators, so it just gives you a much neater finish, and also I've never personally had any problems with it. So the one from Screwfix is blue, which is a little bit unusual, but I just got to wipe it off, so I've just put one in now, so you can see you get a bit of excess around it, just clear it off with a rag, and then you haven't got like, you know, PTFE or string like Loctite kind of hanging out, and you haven't got to clean it all up, so it works well. So I'm just going to show you my methodology, that's a long word, of installing these radiators. So I want all the radiators to be the same height off the floor throughout the property, so I've decided that I want them 180mm off the floor, so that's relevant to the size scale I've got in the majority of the room. So what I've done is I've got the radiator upside down at the moment, and I've put a bracket onto the lugs at the back, and then I can measure from here up to the bottom of the radiator, which is 90mm. So what I'll do is 180 plus 90, 270, and then I can measure that off the floor, and then I can get my baseline. So this is the line where the bottom of the radiators are going to be sitting. So a lot of the pipework is obviously staying, so what I need to do is centre it between the two pipes, which will make it a lot easier for repiping. So yeah, measure the distance and then half it, so I've got my centre line through the middle, and then from that centre line I can measure the rad brackets on the back of the radiator, which is on this radiator 500mm, so 250 either side of the centre line, and then I can put my brackets across the horizontal and vertical line, get them marked, and then get them drilled, and then that should be pretty much perfect. So okay, so I'm just getting the radiator brackets on now, and I've got the level across the top of the two brackets just so I can make sure that the brackets themselves are actually level. So the annoying thing I've just found out is these radiators, the fixings they come with, they're just bolt heads on the top. There's no like posi or Phillips to screw them in quickly with the impact driver, so I haven't got an 11mm socket adapter bit for my impact driver, so I'm just winding them in by hand with a small socket set. But what I've done is, you can see here, I haven't drilled through these slots, I've just drilled through the hole, so as long as you measure it right, you should be totally fine. So just 2 bolts each side, it's only a small radiator, and yeah, everything should be okay. Okay, so the rad's all on now, and I've just got to put the bleed valves in and the blanking cap. So these have small black rubber O-rings on them, so don't over tighten them, just putting them in hand tight and then nip them up. You can see how close these radiators are to the original pipework, but obviously they're different manufacturers, so slightly out, so I am still going to have to cut it and redo it, but worth doing, make it look a bit neater. Right, so we skip forward to the next day now, and the plans have been finalised for this top floor bathroom, so I'm beginning to first fix it. So I'm just starting on the copper work and the bath tap, so I'll just show you exactly what I'm first fixing for. So we've got these chrome Burlington freestanding taps. They're going to be going at the centre of the room behind the bath, traditional in style. And I'm going to actually be running it in 15mm copper pipework, not 22mm, and the reason is there's going to be flexible hoses that drop down these chrome pipes, which are only 8mm internal bore, so it seems a bit pointless to try and do it in 22, and also to get 22mm pipe up there with a flexible hose is going to be really tight and also make the job a lot more awkward. So just to give myself a little bit more leeway, I'm doing it in 15mm, so I'll just show you what stage I'm at. So the old hot and cold feeds used to run behind this eaves area here, and then run parallel along the wall because it was just a standing bath. So I've had to jump them down into the floor. So from the 22 it's just 15mm here. So like I say, the centre of the bath taps 180mm apart. I've brought them 100mm off the floor, and yeah, just done it in 15mm. So I've just checked the centres, it's all good, and then I can get them capped and move on to the basin. So now I've got the hot and cold in for the freestanding bath taps. I'm going to be moving on to the basin. So it's actually pretty central to where the existing basin was, and because we are just joining onto the old pipework, it shouldn't be too bad. But it is a vanity unit that, or not vanity unit, sorry, it's a floating worktop with a chrome waste and then the chrome leg, so it's all exposed. So I've got to chop this pipework and waste pipe into the wall. Fortunately, there's actually a huge void behind there, which is pretty lucky. So yeah, I'll get on with that now, get the hot and colds up, waste in. So on all my jobs, I always ask for the sanitary ware to be on site first, and the reason for that is I can always set it all up and get the exact heights of the chrome waste, etc., rather than just taking it off the fitting instructions or on looking online. It makes your job a whole lot easier, and it makes it more accurate on your first fix. So yeah, you can see here that's the existing base and waste, that's the hot and cold, so I am just going to be joining onto it around here somewhere and get them in the wall. Okay, so I've got the pipe work in now for the basin. What I've done is I've tried to set it at the height that the chrome supporting bracket for the freestanding unit that's holding the sink will be at, so it will kind of all be hopefully in symmetry. I'll set them 150 apart because that's the basin and tap centres, so hopefully we'll be able to just drop straight in here with a little bit of copper or maybe a slight offset straight into the tap. So down here where the pipe work actually comes in, I've had to bring the cold further along to the left so I can get the waste pipe in up through this joist here, otherwise obviously I wouldn't be able to go over it, so it would hit the floor level. So yeah, making good progress with that one. So here I've made sure the pipe work's nice and tight just so it doesn't throw the centre off too much of our sink. The waste pipe will come up here and then there'll be a compression elbow with a chrome pipe going in. Okay, so we're on to the toilet now, and I just need to get my first fix locations for the saw pipe and also the cold fill. So like I say, it's always worth having a sanitary ware on site and you can double check everything. So standard spigot on a toilet is normally 180mm off the floor, but this one's actually 200, so little things like that you can get caught out on. And then inside the toilet here, some toilets have a fill on the left and the right, but this one's on the right hand side, which is over there. Obviously I'm back to front on the toilet, so it looks left to you. So I can measure that entry point from the centre of the toilet, and that's where my cold feed's going to come through. Normally give myself enough room to put some sort of service valve on it. And yeah, I'll show you what I've done with the pipe work. So the new cold feed pipe work's in, like I said, I'll put it at a height where I can get a service valve on it, and the saw pipe is actually fine, it's got a bit of wiggle room on it. So coming towards the end of the day now, and I just want to show you what I've done with the bath waste. So originally it was coming up above floor level over there, but I can't reuse that as it's too high and there's not an available space for me to boss into or even access the pipe. So what I've done is, quite luckily, the basin pipe work was actually 1.5 inches, which is great. So what I've done is I've nicked that feed there and I've teed off. So what I've had to do is do some pass-overs, just obviously so I can get the pipe over that, and then reduce it down to 32mm, and then that'll be for the basin pipe work over there. So I've still got to set up the cradle just so I can get the chrome waste at the right height, but that's not here yet, so I'll do that tomorrow. And then over here I've just used those wall ravens again just to support the waste pipe. So I wouldn't, under normal circumstances, tee in the bath waste to a basin, but I haven't really got any other choice on this one, so I've had to do that, but it should all be okay. It's all falling the right way, and again, just put the insulation on, make sure everything's all good. So yeah, thank you very much for tuning into this video, and hopefully catch you on the next one.